Have you ever felt a constant pressure in your bladder, even right after using the restroom? That subtle, nagging discomfort might seem trivial at first, but it's often the body's early warning sign that something deeper is at play. And while many brush it off as simple aging or dehydration, the truth is much more specific, and fortunately, more manageable than most imagine. Let me be clear from the start. This video isn't about fear or exaggeration. It's about clarity, action, and results. If you're feeling that persistent pressure, especially as a man over 45, it's time to tune in. The real issue might not be your bladder at all. It could be your prostate, quietly disrupting your quality of life. Here's what most people don't realize. As men age, the prostate naturally grows. This condition, known as benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, isn't cancer, but it can significantly affect how the bladder behaves. When the prostate enlarges, it presses against the urethra, the tube that carries urine out of the body, narrowing the passage and making it difficult to fully empty the bladder. This leads to that frustrating, almost constant urge to urinate, particularly at night. But there's a layer to this that goes deeper than anatomy. What if I told you that some common daily habits, ones you might consider harmless or even healthy, could be fueling this pressure? Yes, what you eat, drink, and even how you manage stress are all players in this hidden equation. For example, diets rich in highly processed foods, saturated fats, and certain additives are not just bad for your heart. They trigger inflammation throughout the body, including in the prostate. And that inflammation doesn't just make things swell, it can alter how the nervous system communicates with the bladder. This can cause false signals, making you feel like you need to go when your bladder is barely full. Then there's hydration. Many men either overhydrate or underhydrate, thinking they're helping their urinary system. But drinking too much water in short bursts can irritate the bladder lining. On the flip side, too little water makes the urine more concentrated, which also irritates the bladder and increases urgency. It's a delicate balance, and getting it wrong can make your symptoms worse. And let's not forget about stress. Chronic stress increases levels of cortisol and adrenaline, hormones that affect muscle tone and inflammation. If your pelvic muscles are constantly tense because of stress, this can worsen bladder pressure and further restrict urine flow. This isn't just theory. It's something men report experiencing every day without knowing why. So where does this leave us? If you're watching this, it means you're already taking a step most people overlook, seeking knowledge. That's powerful. Because the good news is, there are natural, effective ways to calm this pressure. Ways that don't involve prescriptions, side effects, or invasive procedures. But, and this is critical, these methods only work when applied with care and the right information. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through simple but powerful lifestyle shifts that can make a dramatic difference. And at the end of this video, I'll also share a bonus strategy that most people never hear about. Something that can dramatically boost the effects of everything else we'll cover, but only if used correctly. Just a heads up, every suggestion here is based on how the body truly functions. There's no miracle fix, but there is a clear path to relief if you follow each step carefully. Because when it comes to your health, missing one detail, like using the wrong preparation method or combining the wrong ingredients, can make a big difference. This is especially true with natural approaches, where the dose and form can determine success or setback. So stay with me. By understanding what's truly behind this pressure, you'll not only get relief, you'll reclaim your energy, your confidence, and your nights of uninterrupted sleep. And what comes next is one of the most overlooked yet revealing discoveries about prostate health. Ignoring it won't just slow your progress. It could quietly keep you stuck in the same frustrating cycle. Most men assume that if they're urinating frequently or waking up multiple times a night to relieve themselves, the issue is with their bladder. But here's the truth. In many cases, the bladder is only reacting to a much quieter culprit, the prostate. To understand how this works, think of your bladder as a balloon and your prostate as a ring around the base of that balloon's exit. As the prostate enlarges, a process that happens gradually for most men after age 40, it starts to tighten that ring. This makes it harder for the balloon to empty fully. Over time, what happens? The balloon stays partially full, constantly signaling the brain to release more urine, even when there's barely anything there. That's the source of that maddening pressure. But here's the part that often gets overlooked. This pressure isn't just uncomfortable. If ignored, it can lead to complications like urinary tract infections, bladder stones, or even damage to the bladder muscles. That's why calming this process early is so crucial. Now here's where it gets fascinating and a bit surprising. Studies have shown that inflammation plays a key role in prostate growth and bladder pressure. But not just any inflammation. We're talking about low-grade chronic inflammation triggered by diet, environment, and lifestyle. For instance, a traditional Western diet, high in red meats, refined sugars, dairy, and fried foods, has been linked to increased prostate volume. These foods trigger inflammatory responses that slowly but consistently stimulate the growth of prostate tissue. Now imagine doing that every day, 3 meals a day, for decades. The impact is real, and it's cumulative. On the flip side, certain foods have been shown to reduce this inflammation and support a healthier prostate. Tomatoes, for example, are rich in lycopene, an antioxidant that not only fights inflammation, but also supports cellular health in prostate tissue. Similarly, foods like broccoli, pumpkin seeds, flaxseed, and green tea contain compounds that naturally modulate hormone levels and calm the prostate-bladder connection. But it's not just about what you eat, it's also about what you avoid. Excessive alcohol, caffeine, and artificial sweeteners have all been shown to irritate the bladder lining and worsen symptoms. Think about that afternoon coffee or that sugar-free soda you rely on daily. These could be silently making things worse. There's also something called neurogenic inflammation, a concept most people have never heard of. It's when the nerves around the bladder and prostate become hypersensitive due to chronic irritation. This means your nervous system starts overreacting, sending out urgency signals even when your bladder isn't full. It's a perfect storm. An enlarged prostate pushing on the bladder, combined with an overly sensitive nervous system, amplifying the problem. So, what can you do today to change this? The first step is awareness, and you've already taken it. The second is to start making intentional choices. Begin by introducing foods that support prostate health, like a handful of pumpkin seeds daily or a green smoothie made with spinach and flaxseed. Cut back on foods that trigger inflammation and be mindful of beverages that could be irritating your system. But here's the catch. Knowing this isn't enough. The real results come when you apply this consistently and correctly. Even a healthy food can be ineffective or harmful if prepared or combined the wrong way. That's why I'll be showing you exactly how to use certain ingredients later in this guide. Understanding the real cause of bladder pressure is empowering. It shifts you from reacting to symptoms to addressing the root. And when you do that, not only does the pressure ease, but you also improve your energy, sleep, and confidence. What comes next is one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatory agents available. And it's probably already in your kitchen. But here's the twist. Most people use it wrong. And because of that, they never see the results they hope for. Used the right way, though, it could be a game changer. Ignore this next part, and you might miss your best shot at real relief. There's a reason so many natural remedies never seem to deliver the results people hope for. Often, it's not the ingredient itself that fails, but the way it's used. That couldn't be more true for one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatories available today, turmeric. Turmeric has been used for centuries in traditional medicine, particularly in Asia and the Middle East, not just as a spice, but as a therapeutic powerhouse. Its most active compound, curcumin, has drawn attention from modern science for its ability to reduce inflammation throughout the body, including in the prostate. But here's where most people get it wrong. Turmeric, on its own, isn't easily absorbed by the human body. You could be sprinkling it on food or taking it in capsule form and still not see results. Why? Because curcumin needs 2 key things to become bioavailable: piperine, a compound found in black pepper, and a healthy fat, like olive oil or avocado. When turmeric is combined with black pepper, the absorption of curcumin increases by up to 2,000%. Add a fat source, and it becomes even more effective. This is why simply tossing turmeric into a smoothie or a glass of water rarely leads to noticeable changes. The delivery system matters just as much as the ingredient. Let's look at how this works in the context of prostate health. Curcumin has been shown in multiple studies to suppress pro-inflammatory markers and reduce oxidative stress, both key drivers of prostate enlargement and bladder pressure. By calming the internal inflammation, curcumin allows the prostate to relax, which in turn reduces the pressure on the urethra and lessens that persistent urge to urinate. But that's not all. Curcumin also influences hormone metabolism, including the way the body processes testosterone and dihydrotestosterone, DHT, both of which are linked to prostate growth. By moderating these hormone pathways, curcumin can actually help slow or even reverse the progression of benign prostatic hyperplasia over time. So, how do you actually use turmeric effectively? One of the most practical methods is to make a simple golden paste. Combine half a cup of turmeric powder with 1 cup of water and simmer it on low heat for about 7 minutes. Once it thickens, add 1 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper and 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Store this paste in the fridge and take half a teaspoon daily, preferably with a warm meal. This enhances absorption and allows your body to fully utilize the anti-inflammatory properties. You could also prepare a turmeric tonic by mixing warm almond milk with a bit of the golden paste, a pinch of cinnamon, and raw honey. This not only supports your prostate, but also helps with sleep, another common issue for men dealing with bladder pressure at night. The effectiveness of turmeric isn't just anecdotal. A growing number of clinical studies are confirming what traditional medicine has known for centuries, that when used correctly, turmeric can play a vital role in managing chronic inflammation and improving urogenital health. But just as important as using the right ingredients is avoiding the wrong ones. Some men try to combine turmeric with acidic juices like orange or lemon, thinking it enhances the health benefits. Unfortunately, this can actually degrade curcumin's potency and irritate the digestive tract, reducing the overall effect. Consistency is also key. You won't see results in a day or even 2, but used daily, in the right form, turmeric begins to shift the internal landscape, quieting inflammation, balancing hormones, and reducing that constant pressure that's been interfering with your day-to-day life. By now, you're starting to build a foundation for real change. You understand the cause, and you're learning how to support your body naturally. But there's something else that needs your attention. Something you might already be consuming that is undoing your efforts without you realizing it. This next step is crucial, because no matter how many natural remedies you try, if this one habit continues, your progress will stall. And more than that, it could be putting additional stress on your bladder and prostate every single day. Ignoring this next tip might not just slow your recovery, it could also lead to unnecessary discomfort and complications. Most of us are careful about what we eat. But what about what we drink? When it comes to bladder pressure caused by prostate issues, what you sip throughout the day might be quietly working against your health, and not in the way you think. Many people reach for drinks they believe are harmless or even helpful. A morning coffee to get going, a diet soda to avoid sugar, maybe an energy drink in the afternoon for that extra push. But here's the problem. These beverages, especially when consumed daily or in large amounts, can irritate the bladder lining and trigger spasms, intensifying the pressure you're already feeling from an enlarged prostate. Caffeine is a natural diuretic and bladder stimulant. It increases urine production while also making the bladder more sensitive. That means more trips to the bathroom, stronger urges, and more discomfort, even if the bladder isn't actually full. For men with BPH, this effect is multiplied because the prostate is already interfering with the bladder's ability to empty properly. But caffeine isn't the only culprit. Artificial sweeteners, found in most sugar-free sodas, flavored waters, and even healthy sports drinks, can irritate the bladder lining and disrupt nerve signaling in the pelvic region. These synthetic compounds often confuse the body's natural systems, creating inflammation and triggering false alarms that tell you it's time to urinate, when in reality, there's little urine to release. Even alcohol, especially beer and spirits, can dehydrate the body while simultaneously acting as bladder irritants. They reduce the bladder's control over muscle contractions and worsen nighttime symptoms, leaving you feeling unrested and fatigued. Combine that with a stressed prostate, and you've got a recipe for nightly interruptions and daytime discomfort. Here's where the shift begins. Hydration, done right, becomes your ally. Instead of focusing on quantity alone, start looking at timing and quality. Drinking large amounts of water in short bursts, like chugging a bottle after a workout, can overwhelm the bladder. It's much more effective to hydrate slowly and consistently throughout the day. Start your morning with a glass of warm water and a slice of cucumber or lemon, not only to hydrate, but to support gentle detoxification. Sip herbal teas like chamomile or nettle in the afternoon, which soothe the urinary tract and provide trace minerals that support prostate function. And in the evening, begin to taper off fluids at least 2 hours before bedtime to reduce nocturia, those multiple bathroom trips that disrupt your sleep. If you still want something flavorful, consider infusions. Add a few slices of ginger and mint to a jug of water and let it sit in the fridge. Ginger reduces inflammation, mint calms the bladder, and both enhance the taste without irritating your system. Be mindful of how your body reacts. Some people may notice increased urgency after certain beverages without making the connection. Keep a short journal for a week. Track what you drink, when you drink it, and how it affects your symptoms. Patterns often emerge, and when they do, you're in a position of power, because the more you understand your triggers, the better you can manage and reduce them. Taking control of your hydration habits can make a remarkable difference. It's one of the easiest, yet most overlooked steps in managing prostate-related bladder pressure. It doesn't require pills, prescriptions, or complicated routines, just awareness and consistency. But here's the caution. All the positive steps you've taken so far can be undone if you continue to expose your bladder and prostate to these hidden irritants. Knowing what to avoid is just as important as knowing what to include. You're on a journey of restoring balance, naturally, intelligently, and effectively. And what comes next is a gentle yet powerful infusion that's been used for generations to relax the pelvic area, ease bladder tension, and support a calmer, more efficient urinary flow. Ignore it, and your progress may slow or plateau. But use it properly, and it could be the missing link that finally brings you real, lasting relief. When you've been struggling with constant bladder pressure, disrupted sleep, and the exhausting cycle of urgency and incomplete relief, it's natural to feel like nothing truly works. But what if I told you that a gentle, centuries-old herbal combination could help ease your discomfort in a way that's both natural and backed by science? Pumpkin seeds and chamomile, two simple, accessible ingredients that, when combined the right way, can support your prostate and bladder in powerful ways. Most people overlook these because they seem too basic. But sometimes, the most effective solutions are the ones hiding in plain sight. Pumpkin seeds are rich in zinc, a mineral critical for prostate health. Zinc helps regulate testosterone levels and supports the immune response, both of which are key in managing the growth and function of the prostate gland. In addition, these seeds contain phytosterols, plant-based compounds that have been shown to reduce the size of an enlarged prostate and improve urinary flow. But there's more. Pumpkin seeds also contain compounds that act as mild diuretics, promoting smoother urination and helping to reduce the pressure that builds up when the bladder isn't emptying completely. They're also high in magnesium, which helps relax the muscles in the urinary tract and reduce spasms that contribute to urgency. Chamomile, on the other hand, is best known for its calming effects, but its benefits go far beyond helping you sleep. Chamomile is a potent anti-inflammatory and antispasmodic, which means it can help reduce the irritation and involuntary contractions that make you feel like you need to urinate constantly. Chamomile also has a mild sedative effect on the nervous system, which is important when dealing with neurogenic inflammation, the type of nerve hypersensitivity that often accompanies prostate-related bladder pressure. By calming the nerves, chamomile can lower the frequency of false urgency signals and support a more normal urinary rhythm. Here's how to prepare a powerful infusion using both ingredients. Start by boiling 300 ml, about 10 ounces, of water. Once it reaches a gentle boil, turn off the heat and add 1 tablespoon of raw pumpkin seeds, crushed slightly to release their oils, and 1 chamomile tea bag, or 1 tablespoon of dried chamomile flowers. Cover the pot and let it steep for at least 10 minutes. Once it's ready, strain the mixture and drink it slowly in the evening, about an hour before bed. Not only will it help ease bladder pressure, but it may also support a more restful night by reducing nighttime awakenings. The key here is consistency. Use this infusion daily for at least 2 weeks to begin seeing real, lasting change. Many men report a noticeable reduction in nighttime urgency and a greater sense of bladder relief within the first few days. But for long-term results, it must become part of your routine. One important detail: don't add sugar or artificial sweeteners to this drink. If you want to improve the flavor, use a small amount of raw honey or cinnamon, both of which have additional anti-inflammatory properties. This gentle yet effective remedy works because it targets both the muscular and nervous components of the urinary system. It relaxes the bladder, reduces inflammation, supports prostate function, and soothes the mind. It's a holistic approach that respects how interconnected your systems really are. Now remember, this isn't a cure-all, and it won't reverse years of habits overnight, but it's a significant step toward reclaiming your comfort, your sleep, and your confidence. What comes next, though, is critical. Because while these natural remedies are incredibly effective when used correctly, there's one simple practice that can multiply their effects, or completely sabotage them if done wrong. It's the final piece of this journey, and it holds more power than most people realize. Ignoring it could not only reduce your results, but also create additional tension in the pelvic area that worsens everything you've been trying to fix. Sometimes, the most powerful solutions aren't found in what you take, but in what you do. After exploring so many natural ways to reduce prostate-related bladder pressure, there's one last piece that brings it all together: restoring circulation, easing muscle tension, and calming the pelvic area through intentional physical practice. And the simplest, most effective way to do that? A warm sitz bath combined with targeted pelvic floor stretches. Let's start with the sitz bath. It may sound old-fashioned, but this practice is still recommended by many health professionals for a reason. Sitting in warm water helps dilate blood vessels, promote circulation in the pelvic region, and relax tight muscles around the bladder and prostate. This can significantly reduce the feeling of pressure and improve urinary flow. To enhance its benefits, adding a few drops of lavender essential oil to the water can make a big difference. Lavender isn't just a pleasant scent, it's a potent relaxant. It eases tension, reduces nerve excitability, and has mild analgesic properties that can calm irritation. This makes the bath not just a physical therapy, but a sensory one, helping the body and mind unwind together. Here's how to do it properly. Fill a shallow tub or basin with enough warm water to cover your hips and lower abdomen. Make sure the water is comfortably warm, not hot. Add 5 drops of pure lavender essential oil and stir gently. Sit in the bath for 15 to 20 minutes. Breathe slowly and deeply as you relax. Try this once a day, especially in the evening, to support nighttime relief. But we're not stopping there. After the sitz bath, the body is warm, the muscles are loosened, and it's the perfect time to introduce a pelvic stretch. One of the best is the pelvic tilt, a gentle movement that engages the lower abdomen and relieves tension in the pelvic floor. To perform it, lie on your back with knees bent and feet flat on the floor. Slowly tilt your pelvis upward, pressing your lower back into the floor and lifting your hips slightly. Hold for 5 to 10 seconds, then release. Repeat this 3 to 5 times. This movement helps retrain the muscles surrounding the prostate and bladder to support rather than restrict. Together, this routine creates a full-body signal that it's safe to let go, that tension can ease, and function can return to a more balanced state. Over time, this practice helps to recondition the nervous system, reduce nerve hypersensitivity, and support improved bladder control. If done consistently, many men find that they wake up fewer times during the night, experience less urgency, and feel more in control of their body's rhythms. It's a gentle, drug-free way to tap into your body's natural healing systems. Of course, there's always the question, does this really make a difference? The answer is yes, but only if it becomes a habit. Much like brushing your teeth or stretching in the morning, this needs to be part of your daily rhythm. Even just 3 days a week can begin to shift how your body responds. And now, as promised at the very beginning, here's your bonus tip, the one that can take all of this to another level. Combine the sitz bath and pelvic stretch routine with 15 minutes of walking every day, preferably in nature. Gentle movement increases blood flow, improves lymphatic drainage, and helps process inflammation more efficiently. Nature adds an extra calming effect, lowering cortisol and helping regulate your nervous system, which directly impacts bladder function. When you pair movement, targeted therapy, and the right nutrients, you give your body every possible advantage. It's not about fixing everything overnight. It's about giving your system the tools to rebalance. You've made it through each step, building a deeper understanding and stronger connection to your health. The path forward is now in your hands. The small, consistent actions you take from here can free you from discomfort, restore your energy, and dramatically improve your quality of life. If this information made a difference for you, consider sharing it. Like, comment, or subscribe to stay connected. Because when knowledge is shared, healing expands. Not just for one person, but for many. You have the power to reclaim your comfort, your clarity, and your confidence. Use it well.